So if you're just joining, then you're probably watching this on a replay because there's nobody here live at the moment. But what I'm trying to do is capture a series of images of a near-Earth asteroid that's passing by. If you can see on my screen this little dot right here, I'm recording 10-second exposures, and you can see the little dot move every 10 seconds. I'm going to let this run until it goes out of my field of view, and then I'll probably try to turn into a little animation to show it passing. But you can see, and there's another movement coming. Boop, there it was. And we're just going to watch this move. Yeah, I'm not sure how well this is showing up on YouTube. Let me jump over and see if I can tell. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm not a frequent live streamer, nor am I particularly gifted at it, but you can see I'm using Nina as my acquisition software at the moment. I just put together a quick sequence to just start taking pictures. I'm doing 10-second exposures using my luminance filter on my monochrome 2600 mm camera. Oh, we have a satellite coming through in addition to the asteroid moving, so probably see that come through here in a minute. Yeah, it cleared out pretty quick. Most of these satellites are pretty fast moving. Could have been a plane. Usually with planes you see the running lights blink. Maybe not in a 10-second exposure, but usually you do. So I'm running this from within my house in my little home office. I have a backyard observatory with a roll-off roof, and I've got the roof open and the telescope tracking this patch of sky that the asteroid is moving through. And you can see right that little dot right there is the asteroid, and it's gonna move again in just a second, and it moves a little closer, so it's following a path from here down. So I will try to collect these files and animate them later. Oh, there's another movement. So that's where we are. Let's see if there's anybody actually online. No. I only have a handful of subscribers and don't really do enough YouTube or enough interesting things to attract any followers. But I'm sure a few of you who follow me will catch this live stream later. Yep, you can see the it's moving through. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. It's right there. Let me just move these. Zoom in one more time. A couple more times. So it should be one of these two dots. I think it's the smaller one. Maybe not. Let me zoom back out. That's it right there. So if I can zoom in, yeah, there it went. I'd like to try to get a, you can see it's a little bit oblong. My guiding is pretty bad, 1.01. But since the stars are reasonably round with a 10-second exposure, that should be expected. But this little blur there is because this is a 10-second exposure. I did some 30-second exposures earlier and they were pretty long, but I didn't want to have that many. I wanted to try to get more movement, so I used a shorter exposure length to try to get more movement. But so we'll just follow that through and see what happens. So I will just be quiet and let us watch the little asteroid move unless someone shows up on the live view. So it's still moving. I'm going to center it up a little bit here, try to keep it in frame. We can watch it move by. Let's see what I can find out about this asteroid. So according to Earth and Sky, a large stony asteroid will safely pass Earth on July 18th, 2022. Its estimated size is around 3,280 feet, about 1 kilometer or 0.6 of a mile, around 2.5 times the height of the Empire State Building. As you can see from this asteroid's label, 7482 1994 PC1, we've known about it since 1994. And is classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid due to its size and relative close flybys of our planet. An asteroid of this size strikes Earth approximately every 600,000 years. We have nothing to fear from 1994 PC1 at its 2022 close approach, and plus amateur astronomers with backyard telescopes might catch a glimpse of it as it sweeps past. Yep, that's what we're doing. Closest approach to Earth occurs on January 18th, 2022 at 4:51 p.m. Eastern Time. So that was about 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago. This approach will be the closest for this asteroid for at least the next 200 years, for which astronomers have calculated its orbit. Speeding asteroid will pass 1.2 million miles from Earth, or about 5.15 times the Earth-Moon distance. That's a very safe distance, yet close enough to observe easily with a small backyard telescope. So the telescope that I'm using is a Sharp Star EDPH, 76 millimeter aperture. It's got a 334 millimeter focal length. So that's a little bigger than, say, a budget telephoto lens for a camera. So we'll just let it pass by now, and we'll watch it roll. There she goes. So there it is right there. If there anybody is catching this. Alright, so there it is right there. For anybody who's joined in, who's interested. Honestly, if you've stayed this long, I applaud your dedication. Hey, good to see you, Barry. So I know this is pretty boring, but right here is the object we're looking at. I'm doing 10-second exposure, so this picture should update here in just a minute when the counter at the bottom of the screen reaches 10. Boop, there it is right there. I just figured I'd go ahead and stream this since I was sitting here watching it. When I get done, I'm going to make a little video of this, hopefully. Let me zoom out and see the whole screen for a minute, or at least the whole angle, see how much progress it's made. I lost it. I have to wait for it to upgrade before I can see how far it's moved. I don't know. Probably in a few minutes my wife may make me come help with some groceries. So I think that's it right there. She's been very generous with letting me do this while I could be spending time with her. So yeah, I think that's it right there. There's really not going to be a lot more to this. Once I get it finished, I'll probably process it into a animation. You can see it's moving along this path. One thing about astrophotography is you spend a lot of time waiting. Yeah, so that's the object right there. We'll turn on my crosshair so I can see. Okay, so it's right inside that circle. So let me zoom in a little bit so I can. Then I'll turn the crosshairs back off. Kind of see that. So that's it right there. But as I read earlier, yep, I'll put it on. I'll absolutely put it on. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, it's going to be about 1.2 million miles. It's already reached its closest approach. It's a little over 5 times the distance between the Earth to the Moon. So that's not particularly close, but it's close enough to get a look at it. It's about the size of the Empire State Building. So if an object this size was to hit Earth, it would be pretty devastating. But it made its closest path about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Its closest approach. And I think they've tracked its orbits for the next 200 years to make sure that it's not going to come any closer. So, barring any errors or anything like that, we should be safe from this one. So how does my audio sound? Is my mic coming through okay? I'm using a headset mic and I've never really tried it with this. Oh, I may have lost you. I lost a viewer. Yeah, I mean, we had someone come speak at the astronomy club who works for one of the agencies that tracks all of the near Earth objects, and they track a lot of them, and they are making sure. There's the DART mission, which I haven't really done enough research on yet. The whole purpose of the DART mission is to determine whether or not we can have a contingency in place. So if we track something coming, if we can send a vehicle out as far away from Earth as we can to impact it, because obviously the further out that we can impact it, the more deflection we're going to get. So we just have to do a tiny nudge if it's long, if it's very far away, to make it deflect away from Earth. Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he can still sit on the rockets. Let's see how far we've moved. Okay, so it's almost to the center of my frame now. So it's right in. It's right. That's probably it right there. This is the full field of view with this camera, with this telescope combination. It's a little easier to spot though if you kind of zoom in. Turn that off. But yeah, I really don't know how long I can stay live. At least I don't have to hear myself talk. But with the full moon out tonight, there's not a lot of other imaging that I want to try to do, as it really gets in the way of shooting any nebula or other deep sky objects. And I don't really have the right equipment mounted on my telescope right now to do any good moon photography, so I don't want to try to do that. Yeah, I may try to start doing more of these, do more videos. I'm going to step away for just a moment. One of my cats is trying to tear a door down. Be right back. Yeah, once this leaves the frame and I feel like I got enough to make a good image, I may turn the telescope over at the moon just to get a little peek at it. I'm hoping I've got a good so we're right there. I'm hoping I've got a good enough exposure time to get enough frames to make it look like something. I've shot 141 frames. It's moved halfway through, so I may get 300 frames. Usually do 30 frames a second on a video, so that might make a 10-second video of showing it move from, well, probably not quite 10 seconds, because it started somewhere like here and has moved this far, and I'll let it move off the screen before I stop this. So I'll go ahead and give you a little tour of the computer. So what I'll do, I'll connect to the computer remotely through Google's remote desktop. I've got two monitors there, so I can slide down and see. I use Stellarium as my I'll move it down to this monitor here. I use Stellarium Planetarium. This is free software, so if you have any interest at all in astronomy, and you want something to explore with, this is good software. I use it to control my telescope. And so this object right here, 17482 1994 PC1, that's the actual object in question. And this shows where my telescope is centered. It's not exactly accurate, but it's pretty close. And this shows the framing of my camera, based on the camera that I'm using and my telescope, and then the rotation that I've got. But say if I wanted to move to the moon, which I'm not going to do right now, but I could do it just by going over here, clicking on the moon, zooming in, and I could tell my telescope to slew, and it would go over and look at the moon. I may do that after we get this done. This little artificial horizon that you see here is represents my actual cluster of trees in my backyard and trees into my driveway. And so as I'm deciding what I want to photograph, all of this is the field of view that I have from my observatory. And if the moon wasn't so bright, I'd probably be shooting Orion tonight, which is in this area here, shooting the Orion Nebula. And you've probably seen, I've posted a few pictures of the Orion Nebula in the past, and the Horsehead Nebula is right in here. I've shot it recently. It's actually on the front of my Facebook page. And then there's some other nice objects to look at that I have yet to get good photographs of. The Rosette, I shot it not too long ago. You may have seen that one. But this software is called Stellarium, and it's a free download. Stellerium, and it's pretty neat. So let me get back in here where we're looking, and I'm going to scroll back up to the other monitor and see where our object has gotten to. Should be I think that's it there. It looks like it's oblong. Yep. So it's moving on. I'm going to go ahead and turn the little crosshairs off. Oh yeah, I could show my I had created or I built a little all-sky camera the other right before New Year's, and I've got it running, and of course it's I'll move this over here a minute. You can kind of see this is the moon, how bright it is, and the little camera that I've got I'm getting a lot of interference, a lot of distortion in the camera. But you can see right here is Orion, and here's the Pleiades, and I've got this set up to where it runs 24/7 and updates on this website that I just tossed up for the fun of it. I did name my observatory the Lakewood Observatory because Lakewood Lane runs right over the other way, and it makes videos also from these captures. I really need to spend some more time working on this enclosure, because these two little dots here and two little dots here, these are reflections. Those aren't objects in space. And on a moonless night it's kind of cool, but on a full moon night like that, everything is just lit up. You can see the trees around the corner, but I have captured a few meteors and mini airplanes flying over. It just go ahead and get rid of that. Let's see where our object has gotten to. There it is right there. I just saw it move. So there it's still moving along. I'll track it till it leaves the frame, and then see how long it takes me to get a little composition video of it moving across the sky. And my guiding is still not real good. See if I can find it again. Is it this one? Oh, yep, that's it right there. I should have some background music along just to break the silence up. Yeah, I like silence myself a lot of times, but it's always the pressure when you're doing a live stream to keep some conversation going. I will have to leave in a little while because I've got to go pick my son up from his karate class. Yeah, I'm not sure who's here. If you're watching, feel free to say hello. Yeah, Will's been taken since he was 6 and 17 now, so he really enjoys it. 2 nights a week. Yeah, he does pretty good. He likes to get out and he likes to spar with Adrian, which I give him a lot of credit for getting out there and putting a lot of effort into it. Hopefully this will make for a decent video. Yeah, I'll probably let this go for another 5 or 10 minutes, just in case anybody else joins the chat and wants to say hello. Otherwise, I'll let it run while I go pick up Will. Go ahead and recenter this a little bit. Just move in that direction, which is really probably upside down. If you were actually outside looking at it optically through a telescope, it'd be going, instead of down, it'd be going up, because the way my camera is angled. Alright, we might get snowed in again, but if not, I'll see ya. Thanks for coming by, Barry. If you're watching while we're live, feel free to say hello. See how close we are to the edge of the frame here. So this is our object right there. Alright, looks like we lost the rest of our audience. We might have a cloud coming over as well. We'll see if it starts getting cloudy. Yep, cloud just passing over. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream and keep recording data, and then I'll post the results when I get them finished. And for those of you that stayed, thanks for staying and watching, and I'll see you next time.